Today I was reflecting over my business, and I'm reflecting a lot these days because apparently I'm going through a burnout, and so I have a bit more space since I'm not really doing anything that is quote unquote productive, or that I'm really being useful to society. I'm more being useful to myself, which is super nice. For once, after 34 years of life being dedicated to people, to outside circumstances, to my environment and everything. And so this morning I was really reflecting over the last 7 years having my business. And then it took me back before that. And I really realized that I honestly did all the things that I wanted to do. And this sounds as if like I'm gonna die and everything, but absolutely not. But maybe this version of me has to die, to be very dramatic and everything. But I've always done things in that order, aka doing, having, and being. And I think I even removed the being from the equation, which was basically doing and having, and I never really took myself into consideration. And I think that's why 2025 hit me so hard onto all the levels of my life, because I really think that God is teaching me to be now, and to just give more credits, give more attention to who I am, to my foundations, to what is important for me, to how I feel, to my emotions, and all these kinds of things. Something that I didn't really do the past 34 years, whereby I think I did it, but I sort of ignored it, right? Especially when you're in the cycle of creation, production, and maybe because I was in this having my business and being an entrepreneur, you don't have time to really care about your emotions, or maybe you do, but I didn't do it, especially since I was in this vicious/virtuous cycle of I create, I nourish my fucking imagination that is beyond limits. Sometimes I'm thank you God for this beautiful gift. So it's I feed off this imagination of mine, I create, I put things into the world, I go with that spirit and that mindset of I have nothing to lose, let's just fucking do it. And so things come out and I'm wow, you actually created something that was just a fucking thought, and you materialized it into the world, and then people join, and then you realize that you're actually doing something, and then people coming into your world is a sort of, I don't know, proof that you're going into the right direction. So you keep doing it, and I feed off of that energy, right? Where it's oh my God, yes, people are coming, so it's working. Then okay, let's do more and more and more. And I never really sort of took a break, or every time I took a break is because I was injured. So it was more my body telling me, hey dude, let's just chill, especially since you're using your body as your body is your business sort of thing, let's just chill. I didn't listen. And the only time I actually listened, where I was attends, I think my soul, my spirit, whatever you want to call it, I think for me is my soul, and for me it was more my heart. So let's just do my heart, was calling, was telling me, hey, can we just have a break, because I really can't do this anymore. Whereby for once the heart and the body were, having a sort of board of directors reunion times 1,000, and they were hey, we actually need a break, so let's just stop. And I listened, and this was April 2024. And also for me, it was my mind wasn't part of that meeting. My mind was yeah, okay, fine. It happens to be a sort of good timing, guys, because 2024 is a year of festivals and retreats and everything. So you guys are lucky that I'm actually, that we're actually traveling that much. So, okay, let's just take a break. But not really, right? And so I took that break in 2024, and I still worked my ass off. Literally, I think I was in the Netherlands for 3-4 months, and the rest of the time I was traveling for my dance camps, my retreats, weekenders, festivals where I was invited, retreats where I was invited, like even holidays were just like a sort of let's just brainstorm again for new adventures. So it was just only in 2025 when shit hit the fan and God literally was like, dude, if you don't change, I swear to you, you're gonna die. That something really happened, and whereby at this moment I'm sort of like forced to think about me, about being, about what it is that is actually nourishing myself, my heart, my body, my, just, I call it the era of like basic needs, which is waking up, eating, shitting, sleeping, and we repeat. But there's this sort of like consistency into this routine of like, well, you just really come back to the essentials of life, which is living and which is being. It's not, we're not called human doings, we're called human beings. And it's just a really beautiful slap in the face. And even though 2025 I learned a lot of lessons really the hard way, it was more of okay, I take notes, I put all these notes into a notebook, and then I guess that 2026 I'll have more space to just integrate. And this is really what I'm feeling is happening now. And even though there's no sort of like, again, idea of what it is that I want to be doing, at least I'm in this dynamic of who is it that I want to become, and to come back to this idea of like do, have, be. I feel like now is be, do, and have, whereby the most important thing indeed is first being the person that you need to be in order to do the things that you need to do so that you can have the things that you want to have. And I was thinking about it because I've always done things very fast, very excitedly, very like, we don't think, I do, and then I think, like literally. One of the biggest things of this process, and this is one of many examples, but the first long format retreat I created was June 2024. This was the most beautiful experience, I think one of the most beautiful experiences that I've created. But if I give you the process of this thing, I was like, yeah, I just want to do a retreat. But that was it. That was the thought. I want to do a retreat. We arrive in November 2023 and I'm like, let's just do this for June 2024 without consulting anything, without checking if this was like a holiday, whatever. I was like, I do whatever the fuck I want. I want this to be on June 2024. Comes November 2023 and I'm starting to talk about it, but I don't have a space. I don't even have a location. I don't even have logistics or the schedule or anything. And I said to everyone sending an email, hey, sign up for the waitlist. The retreat is happening in June on these dates. And that's it. And so I backtracked, and in a good 2 weeks, I had the location, I had the landing page, and I had the spots. And then in the next 2 weeks, people just booked and it was sold out. And I've always worked like that, For all of my events, I would always be like, hey, this is happening, sign up, and I'll figure the rest out on the go, which is amazing because it's, again, I go back to this cycle of like, I have nothing to lose. It's gonna happen anyway. I truly believe in myself, or I might be believing in like my talent or whatever, and I'm like, well, I'll just do it. If shit hits the fan, I have no problem. I have no ego telling people, hey, it's not working, I don't have enough people, or I fucked it up, so I'm canceling, right? I have zero problem with that, and I'm not ashamed because it's an adventure, and I've always considered this entrepreneurship journey as an adventure, as an opportunity to really just do whatever it is that I want to do the way I want to do it. And it's I'm a student just like everybody else. We're always learning, and I've never took anything as a setback or whatever. But yeah, that was literally the way I would function with everything in my business, and I think even in my life. And so when 2025 hit, I was like, it's a bit exhausting. Like, this is a never-ending cycle, and my body is taking a hit now, and I am tired of functioning this way. So now I'm not telling you that I know how to function, but I think I'm just more, maybe present, to like, okay, let's just fucking be for 5 seconds. Let's just give each other, me, my soul, my body, my everything. Let's just give each other the grace of just being and really practicing being a human being, feeling all the feels, going through all the motions, not pushing any sort of like emotions away or not pushing anything away, but just really, again, being with myself. I haven't been with myself for almost 34 years of my life, I've always been with people, with communities, always doing things for people, for circumstances, for environments, for everything, but like sort of like not for myself, even though like doing this for people and like being really motivated by creating impact, being in community, changing lives and everything has been a really beautiful, beautiful, beautiful blessing, because it's brought me to get to know myself a bit more, of course, but now I have this beautiful opportunity to do things differently. And I might be taking a huge risk, but I'm really believing that, for me at least, doing it this way, aka be, do, have, is gonna bring beautiful things. Yeah,